the guy is incredible to watch. He's one of the most underrated players. You know, don't talk about him a lot, but watching him play, so aggressive, and when Classic heats up, it's fun to watch.
Starting off on board with Classic. We'll see exactly what he's up to straight off the break. Tries to push it up this hill and falls over to Embos.
Bo's going to be pushing into that middle hard point. He's going to jump right in. And you see Bo's rocking the AR with Mochilla as well. So Mochilla known for his AR play. Bo's has really, I think, been come into his own with Optic Nation. I think after Optic Nation coming on this Prophecy squad, after he left Optic Nation, had a rough go there. He's been playing much better on this Prophecy.
Oh, absolutely. He's been playing very well. I mean, replays as well. He's another one who I think is really, started to clutch up and play extremely well.
Yeah, you'd fully expect him to have a great weekend here. And, starting off this game, it's going to be Denal in the lead. It's going to be pretty much even across the board for them at the start of this matchup. What you want to see is your ARs on this map really go off. I mean, kind of like how we talk about Retreat CTF. Same thing for Hardpoint. You need the ARs to really dominate those long-range engagements.
Yep. Moch starting off at 4-4. We'll see if he can try and make something happen. There's one with the foul, looking for the second. 22 and 16. To kick things off. No, gonna drop.
Yep, and now you have Attach getting off to a pretty nice start. You see 7 and 5 for him. He's putting a ton of pressure on the hill, and that's what you want from Attach, Ben. We see lots of events, doesn't have the best KD, but you don't need that from Attach. You want Attach to force as many engagements as possible on the hill. You really want him to just be putting tons of pressure. If he ends up, 35 and 35, and maybe like 10 or 12 caps to his name, that's a fantastic game out of Attach.
Well, speaking of Attach, let's hop on board with him. An 8 and 7 performance from him. J-Cap's gonna fall.
You see Clay sitting on that hill, just picking up players from above. It's gonna be players from Prophecy trying to jump in there, but it looks like we're gonna see a rotation come out of Prophecy into this lobby. And Ben, they need to start racking up some time. You see Classic, we talked about in pregame, starting out 3 and 10. Yeah, that's not a good start from a guy that you're relying on a lot of slaying from.
All right. I mean, yeah, you pretty much nailed that, to be honest with you. You need to step up. Speaking of step up, that's what you want to see, a two-piece on the hard point from Classic. Melee attack comes in from Ricky. Now you've got Mochilla and Embos left on the hill, and this one, they're coming back into this game.
Yeah, they can make a ton of time back on this hill and the next one. That lower hill, definitely when you get that AR play, that long-range engagements, and you have a player like Classic who can just flood through that hard point, really put some good pressure. Same with Ricky. You can take chunks of time on that bottom hill. I think it's definitely one of the hills on this map, definitely a money hill, so to speak, a hill that you're going to make tons of time on.
Well, we will see Clayster on your screens currently at 14 and 9, Matt. A 4 streak. Definitely heating up, but as we touched on before the first game started, Matt, this is what you expect to see from Clayster. One of the more consistent players really on this Denal squad. You always know what you're going to get with him.
I mean, Clay's one of the most consistent players in Call of Duty, so a little bit of history. First year COD champs for Black Ops 2. Clay was teaming with some underage kids, ended up grabbing some players from Europe, come over and play. Didn't get a lot of practice. They kind of bombed out early. You expected Clay to have a really good showing, though. Kind of left the tournament early. Going into that event, a lot of people remember he was one of the best players, regarded as probably the top player in the game at that moment in time. Going into the Ghost Call of Duty World Championship, that Optic Gaming roster pre-tournament had a lot of just different moving parts to it. There were players coming in and out. Didn't really know what the roster was going to be come Champs time. They come out, they have a very good showing at Champs last year, but you feel like this year everything's kind of aligned for Clay. He has a stable team. He's been teaming with JCap for a pretty long time now. With it coming from NV2 to Nile, you expect them to do good things this weekend.
Yeah, speaking about Clay and JCap, Clay currently 19 and 14, JCap at 20 and 10. So both these two players playing extremely well. Attach not too far off his 20th kill. It's 17 and 4. He's going to be on that hard point looking for players. There's going to be one pushing behind him. If he turns around, he should be able to clean this player up on the staircase. Teammate's going to do it for him, and that's JCap. And JCap playing at such a fast pace right now, Matt, that Prophecy just not able to hang on in terms of those gunfights.
No, and they're really forcing the issue, and I think that's really Prophecy's kind of weakness. They have very talented players, but they all play at a little bit of a slower pace. So Classic, he's the one who's really going to force the issue for them. But Mochilla, Ricky, Bo's kind of very good S&D players. I'm going to be very interested to see how the S&D turns out in this series. But for Respawn game modes, they play at a little slower pace. They need to win most of their engagements. They are not a team that when you get into that fast-paced mode, they're going to win a ton of gunfights. You're going to need to slow the game down. If you're Prophecy, I think a way they can do that, maybe bring some more stuns, bring some more EMPs into the mix.
Speaking about that, something that we touched on a little bit earlier on. I mean, Mochilla is not using an EXO ability or any kind of, grenade. No stun, no EMP, no frags. He's just really rocking out in terms of just his weapon attachments. So interesting to see. Talking about slowing the game down, yet, more happy double EXOs, for example, right there from, I believe that's Classic. So realistically, you have 2 stuns on the map from Embos, I believe, and I think 2 from Ricky, or 1 from Ricky. So you only have 3 stuns. Right,
which isn't really much of anything, to be honest. I mean, you throw those out, you don't even hit one person, you're kind of screwed at that point. Yeah, it wasn't that useful. I think this team, they need to play towards their strengths. If they can slow the game down, play a little bit of a slower, methodical hardpoint game, they can be extremely good. I don't think, though, they're going to be able to run in, win a ton of gunfights. That's not what these guys really want to do. I think it's really important that when you're playing against another team, their play style, and you want to just figure out a way that you force the other team to adjust to you not having to adjust to them. And right now, you can see Denial really amping up the pace, forcing Prophecy to play at a speed that they're not comfortable playing.
Classic on your screens. He's currently 18 and 29. Has definitely stepped things up, but you need just that little bit more from him running into this wolf pack of Denial, who are looking so good at this point. Clay continuing his rampage and picks up 2 kills there from players trying to rotate towards that next hill. 178 to 94. This is just all Denial, and you're seeing right now why we call them the second best team right now in the game.
Right, I mean, just absolutely dominating. Clay is really the engine that's going to drive this team the entire weekend. He's really going to be the story for them. Needs to have that good champs, like we said, last year got 3rd. But Clay is a player, talked a little bit to him pre-event. This is the one thing he's never won. I mean, he's got the X Games gold medal. He's got the MLG championships. This is the one event he hasn't won yet, and that's kind of what's driving him this weekend. Doesn't really, money's not a big thing to him. Wants to really just come out, win this event, and really just add to the resume.
He's playing for the ring.
Yeah, he's playing for that ring.
For at this point, and you got to respect that drive a lot.
Right. I mean, guy's a winner. Everywhere he's gone, he's been a winner. So definitely looking for him this weekend to come out, have one of those great performances. Definitely one of my top 5 players to be looking out for this weekend.
JCap trying to wrap around. There's the first. Goes for the pre-fire on the second. Gonna connect with that one as well. Teammates clean out plays over towards that pull side. And Denial just breaking these hard points just look so easy. Such well-coordinated pushes coming out for everyone. And Clayster drops his 40th kill. The scary thing about that, Matt, is there is 2.5 minutes left to play.
Yeah, I mean, he's really making it easy for the rest of his team to play. I mean, you see JCap replays and attach. When they go into the hill, they have to fight maybe 1 gun battle.
Right?
Otherwise,
and you can trade that. You can just use sheer numbers to win that gunfight.
Otherwise, it's Clay at range, just tagging players up so they come into the hills weak. He's taking players out, obviously, just doing a fantastic job. And I think the one thing you'll see a difference between a player like Clay and a player like Formal is Formal will play in the hill a little bit more. He'll push up a little bit more, get more aggressive. Clay is going to be a complete safety net. Don't really see Clay go near the hill too much.
He's always going to be thinking about those spawns and just playing for this kind of kills and plays at the opposite side around the outside of the hill. Is got to give Classic some massive props. He started off so slow, but 30 and 35, been forcing a lot of gunfights. 65 total engagements, make that 66. Nearly found himself a nice little 3-piece there, but does ultimately fall. 1.5 minutes left, Matt. 206 to 150. 36 seconds left on this hill. Is it possible for Prof to come back?
It's definitely possible, but I think it's unlikely, Ben. With the way Denial is playing right now, really controlling the pace of the game, they would need a lot of the players on Prof to really heat up here and win most of their engagements and hold this down for a very long time. I think this looks like it's going to be Denial map 1. I don't think it's kind of indicative for the way the rest of the series is going to go. I think Prof can keep it extremely close on the S&Ds. I think that's something that may even favor Prophecy.
Oh, Search and Destroy, yeah, I agree. I think that's where depends on the map. I would say a map like Riot, for example, I think Prof should win that 9 times out of 10. Just Embos and Ricky on that map specifically are just so good. Just they seem to just understand how to play that map.
Absolutely. You know, Bose and Ricky, two of the most talented S&D players that we have in Advanced Warfare. And then same with Mochilla. Mochilla,
yes,
during Ghost, put up one of the best KDs in S&D. Coming into this year, didn't know how his player was going to transition over. And he's been very good in Advanced Warfare. I mean, the beginning of the game, I mean, he didn't have a stable team, but he was winning, you know, online events every weekend with different rosters. So Mochilla, definitely a player that can contend with the best. I mean, 40 and 37 out of him right now. And I think on the flip side, though, I love the way Attach played this first map. If you are a Denial fan, this is exactly what you want to see out of Attach. You say, you know, Clay went, you know, 46 and 34. JCap drops 40 as well. You know, why are we talking about Attach? Attach 38 and 35. But look at the pressure he's put on the hill with those captures, really just opening up doors for the rest of his teammates to come in and just clean up kills.
Yeah, really solid stuff from everyone on that Denial squad. Replays as well, 29 and 36. You know, he did his role there for the team, but